Okay, math fails. I think I have not been paying attention. Okay, I thought I would say something to you. I care about you, so I wouldn't be surprised if, in some sense, I'm clueless about what's going on. Certainly, I have been. Okay. Um, yeah, having a little drink. Cheers. So, yes. So in order to talk to you, I think I have to start off being honest. I've not been watching your videos for a couple months, probably, or just a very few of them. Few enough that I don't really know the trend. Now, there's two reasons for this. One reason is with people, a lot of people think, well, they're similar. Of course, I'm going to watch their videos all the time. I get people who think like I do, they watch my videos. And I think that's great. I totally understand why that is. But and I do that in some cases. But in other cases, I see people on paths, little areas of the geography that I feel I'm familiar with. I've been there. I've walked those paths. It's not that I think that there isn't something new to find. You will, and I keep in touch and watch and see what you say that you found on them. On the other hand, I feel some of what some people are doing is familiarizing people with the paths. They're going, look at these paths. That's what I do. I'm like, look at these paths I walk. And as I say, I'm familiar with it. So I don't necessarily watch that closely. Second of all, I'll tell you, I'm not that into skits. I will like one skit for every 10. Now, in your thumbnails, I saw what I interpreted as you in costume. And it didn't really occur to me that you were dressed as a woman or not. Or a pirate. Couldn't really tell. It's just a little thumbnail. And I thought you were doing skits. Now, had I just known that that's your mode of dress, like Eddie Izzard, and you're a male lesbian, or maybe you're not, but you like to wear women's clothes, then I would probably would have watched more because I thought they were skits. And also, I'm fascinated when online to know somebody during a period and they are plugged in online to see them make a transition. And I respect people that share their transitions because I think I probably did my transitioning in between. I would probably say, if I had to think about it, that I had strong transitions online and from contacts and personal things going on at the same time. And I probably stopped using a form that I was on while the transition was really taking place. And yet I have grown a lot from watching other people's transitions. Now, having said that, I also try to share a transitional process, but a pretty conscious one. Now, anyway, so I guess this is a real transition that you're making. I personally applaud it and think you went to the best place on earth in general, but certainly for tolerating that. So good going. I think if you feel more comfortable, then you should do it. I don't know. Do you know Eddie Izzard? He's talked about all of this stuff. He's a heterosexual male British comedian. He's brilliant, and he's dressed at various, however he wants. And he pointed out that when women started wearing pants, that was considered like, oh, you're a lesbian. And it's like, well, it wouldn't matter if they were a lesbian, and two, it doesn't mean that. So, yeah, it's an interesting subject because prior to knowing this, I was just getting the idea that you like to, well, I've always thought you were good at putting on personalities and, acting, performing with them. And so it raises interesting issues, because I think your personality that you present, but I assume not the real core personality underneath there, changes. You feel more comfortable. Do you feel more comfortable because we're seeing something deeper to the core? Or do you feel more comfortable because there's extra layers of ambiguity, making it difficult to know exactly what you're saying? Not that it is difficult to know what you're saying. I'm not saying that at all from your message. To me, it seems straightforward what you say. But thinking out of it from the other way, I think there's issues of persona. I've tried to come to a place in my life where it didn't matter. What I was wearing didn't affect me so much. And I've done that by growing my hair long and then cutting it short. So I'll see what it's like to go back and forth. How are people treating me differently? How do I behave differently? Changing my dress. Though usually I dress pretty casual, but I've dressed more formally on occasion, and I go back and forth, and I study how I feel when I dress these different ways, and I'm trying to subtract that out. So if I find a really comfortable way to dress, in the past of my life, I would be inclined not to dress that way, probably. Because it's like, well, why is that? I'd be suspicious. Why is that making me comfortable? On the other hand, over time, I've narrowed in on what makes me feel comfortable, and I'm okay with it because I associate my values in that regard with actual comfort, like the physical comfort, like how does it feel to me? And if it's based on the colors and the aesthetics, do I like it? Do I feel good in this color? Not what other people think. So like tie-dyes, I feel good in tie-dyes. I wear tie-dyes. Sometimes people give me a hard time, depending where you are in the States and stuff. And that's sort of, that's just a part of it. I feel better in it. And, I think if you have the strength to do this, I think that's great. It really proves something strong about you. I think it's not something you do for other people, so it's obviously a self-expression. I believe in that. Jimi Hendrix, let your flag fly. And anyway, just kind of touching base. We've had a few PMs, and I guess they were out of context, out of context. I would say this transition is a testament to your character. It's going to be difficult, I think. It's not all, you can't assume because it's good that it's like all good where it's easy. It's painful. Some of the feedback you get from your family and stuff like this. And online is great because online you can get positive feedback. On the other hand, online it's a little too easy to get positive feedback, But my feedback's positive because, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to let your own self-expression express out to the point where you can be sure that it's not society. On the other hand, there's a subculture, and you're near a subculture that gives a positive feedback for this sub-style or whatever. It's not entirely individualistically unique. But then again, that's good. It's good that there's people to share it with. So, I don't know. Nothing is assured, but as far as I'm concerned, yeah. Interesting. So, okay. Well, when I see you that way, dressed in the thumbnails now, I will not assume it's a costume. It is just you've adopted a new style of dress that is ordinary for you in your videos. So how's it going in your life? I haven't been watching your videos yet. So are you dressing in women's clothes, so-called, but they're not, obviously, if they belong to a man. But are you dressing that way in just your